Um, so I list out. I don't know if you got this part, but like I listed out a host of constitutional errors that I felt were detrimental to my conviction or the reason why I
Mm,
was in prison. Um, Amongst them, of course, ineffective and prosecutorial misconduct and just the withholding of evidence, Brady violations. Brady violations really what got me back in the door. I just didn't
mm,
think that it was gonna get me in the door. So we're in now we're in the habeas or the post conviction phase. Um, it took the court like 6 years, bro, to answer my post conviction. Six
mm.
years to answer my post conviction,
Damn.
and so they eventually um, remanded the case. They appointed counsel, which was April Finley, who she used to work. She used to work for the U.S. Attorney's Office, so she used to be a prosecutor, bro. But one thing that I admire about April was that she saw right off the back, bro. She was like, "Nah, this isn't
Mm,
right." And for a former
mm.
prosecutor to just be open and honest, bro, that meant so much to me. She gave me the courage. It's like,
Right.
nah, we're gonna keep pulling through, bro. And she really, really invested her energy into it, man. And I'm so thankful to have her part of that early team. And then she teamed up with Janae Reed. Um, she
Shout out to
teamed
her.
up with Janae. Yeah, shout out to Janae Reed, bro. Of family law and litigation. She was phenomenal as well. Graduated from an HBCU. She knows the struggle. She's not oblivious to the reality of our judicial system and how one-sided it could be.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
so now it's us three. We're fighting. We're in this. We're going through evidentiary hearings. And it was at this evidentiary hearing in particular that Janae was able to uncover that the witness actually never even saw anything. Also, although she had said that at trial that she did see and placed me on the scene, and so with this
Mm,
recantation in tow, that kind of gave us a little bit more power. The judge, being the judge, of course, uh, denied it because in a nutshell, he
yeah.
didn't believe the witness. What is funny that he didn't believe the witness during the evidentiary hearing, but he believed her during trial when she was lying. But he didn't believe her when she was telling the truth at the evidentiary hearing. So that the irony of that, bro, is crazy. But
Right.
at this point, I'm at DC jail. I meet Mark Howard from the Prison and Justice Initiative. Man, shout out to Mark, bro, beautiful individual, man. I love him to death. Um, so I meet Mark Howard, taking classes at the DC jail offered by Georgetown University. Shout out to Georgetown University as well. Well, and,
Shout
and,
out to
and I mean, it was not
Georgetown.
only Georgetown there. You had Howard there. Like they were there. They knocking the doors down. They're knocking the doors down, bro.
Mm,
These universities are on the front line. So I gotta let your audience know that it's not like they're not. What it is you guys aren't being told that they are. So those resources
mm,
reaching you guys is really difficult, because prison officials really make it difficult. But you have a tremendous amount of a group of good people, bro, that are really working towards
that's a fact.
um bringing awareness and liberation to a lot of the people that's incarcerated. So
That's a fact.
yeah, so I meet with Mark. Me and Mark hit it off instantly, bro. He's like I said, he's a great individual, man. Like I really, he has a tremendous story, man. So if you guys could try to figure out who Prison and Justice Initiative is, who Mark Howard is, who Marty Tankliff is, man. Like they have a unique story, bro. But yeah, it was there where I met Mark. Um, that I was introduced to, um, you know, furthering academia, man, while taking college courses. Um, so
So
at
would you
this
say
point,
that's
I'm
the
still.
shift when you started to take college courses? Like, was that when the mindset shift happened,
Oh
or you
no,
you or you was
no,
fighting from
no,
day
no.
one? Like it was never
Oh
really a
no.
shift. It was more consistency.
Yeah, I think the mind shift took place a lot earlier than that. When I started seeing, when K2 came inside the prison system, bro, it decimated it took the morale out of the people, bro. And I think that
Mm,
when I saw that, and I thought about, okay, how did we get to this point? We know that it was introduced within the community first. They put it in every gas station and corner store first. It wasn't by accident, it was on purpose. And then they criminalized it after they got everybody hooked on it.
mm,
But when I started to see, the many men that was around me, bro, that was really suffering from the effects that was having, it kind of like made me say, nah, there's no way that I'm gonna be part of this ploy to destroy where I come from
mm.
and who I am as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no way, bro. I'm gonna you know, take part in this big major conspiracy to keep us dumbfounded and just controlled, bro. So I think that's when I had
Right.
that shift, and that shift really was like in 2012. And so at this point, so okay, so fast forward now, we're talking about 2017, 2018, where I'm at Georgetown, at DC jail, taking Georgetown classes in government and
Mm,
philosophy. And
mm,
of course, I'm on a writ, meaning that I've left the feds. At that time, I was in let's see, I left the feds. I was in Beaumont, Texas. Shout out to the men in
mm.
Beaumont, Texas. And so
Boom.
I'm there, and I'm like, so okay, wait. So I get sent from Beaumont to the writ in DC to appear before the judge on evidentiary hearings on the Brady violations and things of that nature, and withheld
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and possible police corruption in the case. And while we're going back and forth to these hearings that took probably about 18 months to really get through everything, I'm taking the
Okay.
classes at Georgetown, at DC Jail, through Georgetown's schoolwork. At this time, actually, matter of fact, listen. So it was called the Marty Techliffe Scholarship Program, um, and so he basically funded for what was taking place. That's why I said, you guys, if you could do your homework on Marty Techliffe, man, and his story is phenomenal, bro. His story, he was just like us. He came from a well-to-do family, except that, um, when he was 17, he was convicted for killing his parents, and it was later found out that all the evidence in that case was fabricated, and he was exonerated
Mm.
through um, the
So
Innocence
so
Project, bro.
naturally the innocence process. So naturally it sounds like he definitely would correlate his story and see a lot of parallels between what you was going through and what he had going through, and probably a reason that they got behind and wanted to support what you had going on as well, I would assume.
Oh yeah, bro. Listen, especially with like Marty knows. And he's a lawyer now, man. So
Mm.
but he knows the road, bro. He knows, he's been where we've been.
He been there.
Um
Yep.
yeah, he's been there, bro. He's been there, bro. He came out, bro, and got his law degree, and now he practices law, bro.
That's what's
And
up.
they have, like I said, the
So
Prison and Justice Initiative.
hmm no, keep going. The prison justice initiative.
And in conjunction with that, they have something called Make It an Exoneree, which I'm going to get into in a minute. That's
Making
based
it
out of
on.
Georgetown. Um, so anyways, okay, so we're going back and forth. The case gets again denied. The judge said that he didn't believe the witnesses because, whatever the case was. So I go back to Beaumont. I didn't feel defeated, but I felt like, I
Mm.
felt like, I'm back at square one.
Mm-hmm.
um, at this point, and I'm gonna kind of like fast forward because some things that I really want to touch on. At this point, where I'm back in the Court of Appeals, Mark comes on board. Mark Howard again from Prison and Justice Initiative with Making an Exoneree program,
Mm-hmm.
where where basically your case is introduced to a body of students who start to reinvestigate your case. They start to put
Mm.
all the pieces together that are kind of like all over the
Mm-hmm.
place and scattered, and this is where I'm introduced to a dynamic group of people by the name of Austin Riddick, Cecily Burge, and John Senya Brooks. So there were these students, man,
Mm,
in their grad school years, bro, and they were taking the class with Mark and Marty, making it his honoree, where they took up my case, bro, and they really did a
mm,
phenomenal job with reinvestigating the case
fire.
and shedding light on the injustice that was done in the case. And to this day, it was these three individuals, bro, that I really give so much credit to, because not only were they so young, like it was just they were so sincere, bro. They were so invested
Mm,
in my
mm-hmm,
freedom. You
mm-hmm,
know what I mean? And
mm-hmm. You
I
seen
can
the
never
injustice.
forget that they saw the injustice at a young age, bro, where they said, nah, something has to be done about this. So with them reinvestigating the case, we're still in the Court of Appeals. They put the pressure on where they really uncover all the inconsistencies in the case, and they shed light on it. And I have to again give credit to them, man, because they put the footwork in. And s- uh, at this point, we're back. We're still in the Court of Appeals. Cecily, Austin, and John Senya put their work in. Mark is still there, Marty is still there, Janae's still there. So now I'm working with a team. So
Mm-hmm.
these three students, bro, they graduate during the time that I'm still appealing this stuff. I'm still at Beaumont. I'm appealing the case. They graduate from Georgetown. Austin goes on to go to Harvard Law. So Austin, a dynamic individual, bro. Um, Austin says, "Listen, I'm in law school right now, and the minute that I graduate, whatever law firm I'm with, I'm taking your case with me." And to his word, bro, he graduated Harvard Law. He went to work for Covington and Burling in D.C. Shout out to Covington and Burling, man, bro. Tremendous law firm, one of the biggest law firms in the nation. And they backed his play.
Mm,
They backed his play. Shout out to David also, who was part of a lawyer at Covington that believed in pushing me through. And Austin came on, man, full
yeah,
guns blazing, bro. After graduating, bro, he really brought me on as a client in Covington. And so, with this tremendous team behind me, bro, we were finally able to get back in front of the court of the lower courts, where the government basically was told, hey, we have to find a resolution. And of course, to me, the only resolution was me being free. There was like no other way.
mm-hmm,
But the
mm-hmm,
government,
mm-hmm. Uh,
um, the whole thing was, okay, well, we'll give him his freedom, but he has to plead guilty to a lesser included offense of second degree murder. So you have to weigh the options. All right. So my grandmother at this point,
right,
she's in her 90s. My kids are getting older, bro, and I haven't lived life. At this point, I'm locking on 20 years incarceration. I haven't, I mean, I went in, bro, at such an early age that I really never experienced even an adult relationship with a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right,
there was a lot of things that I had not experienced yet, bro. So
right,
it's one of
right.
those things where you have to weigh the option. Do I keep fighting and it's probably gonna take another 5 years, or do I
Mm-hmm.
just go ahead and say, man, listen, let me go ahead and get out the way? And
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
one of those things where I said, you know what, I'm going to get out the way, but I'm going to go out here and I'm going to solidify myself where I need to be so that I can make all these 20 years count, bro. And so here I am.
That's a fact. I love it. And so for our listeners, one thing I want to highlight for you guys is check out how he mentioned then he had a team. Once he had a team, things change. And that's the same in all aspects of life. Like if you want to be successful, one, it's never happened on an island alone. And so it's always about a team, coordinating the team, putting the team together, putting a powerful team together where everyone knows how to play their part and they bring what they specialize to the table, leaving the egos away and working towards one shared mission. And we see as soon as that took place, things really started to change in his world. And so just didn't want that to go overlooked. But so now, you've been, is it exonerated? Is that what it's called? Is-
So what they did was, well, you're exonerated from the first degree murder conviction, right? But like I said, like they locked it in to where as though you have to plead guilty to something, even if it's a handgun.
A gun, right?
Violation. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll lock you in, bro. And they
Mm-hmm.
do that. And they do
Mm-hmm.
that so that not only they keep the conviction and save their face, although they know they had nothing to stand on, but they don't want you to come back with litigations
A lawsuit.
to sue them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
one of the
Right.
things, the clauses of me um uh, being given time served was that I had to drop all appellate issues, so I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
even bring those back
Mm-hmm.
up, even under a civil suit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they wanted to make
Yep.
sure that they
Yep.
were in the clear, bro. You know, and so
100%.
that's what they
Hundred
did.
percent.
Yeah. Hmm.
So now you're out, and I could imagine, the things that you went through, the barriers, especially being gone for that amount of time, catching up with family and all of those things. But only in the sake of time, can you tell us like where you are today and kind of give us more of a backstory of some of the things you're doing today? Fill us in with what continued to happen with Georgetown, if anything, and really just start to now really highlight, how you went from being in prison, but now elevated yourself to the boss you are today.
Yeah. Listen. So Georgetown, of course, they're a big part of my reentry back into society. Um, Georgetown has a thing for entrepreneurs called the Pivot Program. Actually, they have two university
Mm,
based programs. One is their paralegal program, and they also have a
mm,
program for entrepreneurship that is taught from a Georgetown School of Business. So shout out to them also. So
that's fire.
it's a 18, well, it's basically like a 9-10 month course, but it's really condensed. Like it's condensed with everything that you will possibly need, from how do you start a LinkedIn page to your
Mm-hmm.
networking, to be able to network, to be able to bring your platform to market. Like they really have a
Mm-hmm.
in-depth program that touches on everything dealing with entrepreneurship. Um,
I love it.
right. So those that are coming home from that are in the DC area, man, really look out for that. Also, one thing I have to say, that making an exoneree is not only out of Georgetown now. That was incepted and birthed at Georgetown, but they have it also at
Mm-hmm.
Yale. I believe it's also at
Nice.
Berkeley or UCLA. So you guys
Mm,
look, like, tap into these universities and see if they have make it an exoneree. If they don't, write them and see if they can have that same program there, bro, because it's vital.
that's
But
fire.
but
Fire.
I completed a Georgetown School of Business pivot program. Um, we graduated from that, and I embarked on some ventures. Of course, one thing about the entrepreneurship world, especially when you're first, when you just starting out, is that you're gonna hit those bumpy roads, bro.
Definitely.
You're
Definitely.
gonna hit those slam doors. You're gonna hit
Hell yeah.
those
Yep.
instances where you're like, damn, man, they keep closing the
Hell
door. I
yeah.
can't get this right. I can't get that going. But I just keep
Yep.
pushing. Just
Have to.
Yeah, just last week I was able to lock in a medical carrier contract that happened to kind of like, you know, I had to finesse it, but nevertheless, I got it. You know what I mean? Because that's
Right,
another
right,
thing.
right. Congrats. Yeah.
You gotta bring your savviness to the business world. We're from the streets, so there's no reason
Right.
why we can't bring that same drive into the business market. And, you're gonna have to sometimes come to the table and finesse your way at the seat at the table. It's just how it is. You
Definitely.
know what I mean?
It's how it is.
So
Yeah,
we
closed
got
mouth
that
don't get
going on.
fed.
Closed mouth
Gotta go
don't get
get it.
fed. Exactly, bro. So that's finally going. Um, have something in the works for the luxury transportation space that we're gonna
Mm,
really focus on the EVs instead of these gas
mm,
guzzling vehicles that I can't see that they're gonna be around for the next You know, in 30 years, you're not
Right.
even gonna see these things, bro. They're not gonna be around.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really focused on the EV aspect of the luxury transportation space in the
Mm.
DC metro area. You know, that's the whole DMV. Um,
Yep.
we have that going on, bro. We got the EARN, which is a nonprofit called EARN, it stands for Economic Advancement Reentry Network. That's really when the feds
Mm.
is going to work on
Mm.
dismantling Unicore, and stop this modern day slavery of people that are working in these factories, bro, for months and years, and are coming home with their handout asking the government for a just a handout to get by. You know what I mean? That has to
Mm-hmm.
stop.
Mm-hmm.
That has to stop.
Mm-hmm.
You have men and women incarcerated that can't even play a role in sending their kids to college, bro. There are no
Right.
529 plans that are offered in prison. There is no Roth
Facts.
IRA that are offered in prison. And so if you got a guy that's been locked up, like Beatty out of DC, was locked up 40 plus years, like, what is
Mm-hmm.
and he's not working in Unico. What is he gonna do when he get out? He has no Social Security coming in.
Right.
So
Right.
these things are vital.
I
Excuse me.
agree. I agree.
These things
And
are
that's
vital,
called
bro.
earn.
It's called
EARN,
earn.
right?
Uh-huh.
And
So
I love that. Economic Development Reentry Network.
Economic
Oh,
advancement
advancement.
reentry network. So you guys look out
Gotcha.
for that. We're putting it together. Um, Another thing that I'm gonna touch on it, but I'm not gonna put it all out there, bro. But I want y'all to know that there is a possibility for those that are interested in media, um, that are interested in movie producing, movie
Mm-hmm.
writing, acting, all these
Mm.
things, that there will be a platform, hopefully very soon, that's gonna allow individuals to team up with one of the biggest names in Hollywood and be a part
Mm.
of the same thing that Pivot has going on. This media conglomerate, bro, is putting together, hopefully, that is accepting that vision that we're presenting to them,
Right.
and so that avenue is going to be uh, uh, there for individuals that are interested in media. So you dudes that are out there, that men and women that are writing, keep writing. If you're into
Mm-hmm.
screenwriting,
Mm-hmm.
write, man. Save all this stuff, man. Acting. Listen, if they do plays where you are your institution,
Acting
man,
plays. Yep.
acting, man.
Yep.
Listen, man. We're trying to create avenues, man, for individuals that are locked up behind a door, that are coming home, to come home to crutches, bro. That's gonna get them where they need to go.
Yeah, because it's all about economic growth when you come home, economic development,
Absolutely.
personal development. What's speaking of personal development, what's as a man thinketh?
So as a man, think if it's really going to be my platform for my advocacy work. That's where I'm really.
Mm.
It's an IG page now. I'm not as active on social media as I should be, but that's because I'm old school. For all of us that know that we grew up in the late '80s, early '90s, the objective in the
You
street
ain't
was to
post
stay
everything.
on the radar. You don't post
Yeah, yeah,
everything.
yeah.
But these what they label YNs, which I really don't like. I like saying YMs and not YNs. I like calling them young men instead of young niggas, right? So what the
Mm,
YMs are
mm,
doing, they
mm.
just put themselves out there, bro. Post stuff that they really don't even know what they're doing. They're criminalizing themselves. They're putting
Yep,
themselves on the
yep.
front line, bro, to be prosecuted and targeted. So we come from a different era. We come from an era where we don't want to be known. We're trying to stay under the
Facts,
radar. We don't want to be on the front
facts.
line being like, hey, I'm doing this. It's the opposite, right? So my
Yep.
whole presence in the media, in a social media game, is kind of like lacking. But as a man thinketh, it's already up. I just haven't uploaded any content to it. It's gonna be it's gonna be really my advocacy work, where you can find all these things that's happening. So those who want to just start following, you can start following as I start posting stuff there. Um, Feel free, bro, to come on board and follow and be a part of this tremendous movement to get you guys powerful, get you guys in the winning seats, get you guys putting your past behind
Mm,
you.
mm,
Don't
mm.
if I know the hustle in there. I know sometimes you gotta hustle to keep your head afloat. I know sometimes money is not coming in and you feel forgotten. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna hustle, hustle for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do something, listen, do it, but invest it in a manner that say, hey, now I can just put my money into getting books, into getting newspapers, into getting anything that's going to academically move you forward. Because the
Mm,
difference between us and them is they know and we don't. So if we don't
mm,
know because we lack education, that means that we stunt our own growth. So we have to spend that time
mm-hmm,
that we're
mm.
given, bro, to really educate ourselves so that we do know and we know what our options are and we know how to maneuver.
That's a fact. Nah, that's a whole fact right there. And it's true. I mean, it's knowledge is power. I think, speaking of which, that was part of my whole growth and change. It always came down to knowledge. I'm a forever learner, something I'm committed to doing. I take 15 minutes every day to continue to learn about my crafts. And, I believe also that we all should have a mentor or coach, but in different aspects of our lives. And so,
Right,
in all of that combination is what really helps us grow and change our trajectory. And so for the brothers, sisters who are incarcerated, there's still a lot of knowledge. There is an awful lot of knowledge inside it, behind those walls,
right.
behind those gates. There's individuals who have done some amazing things, and it's important to surround yourself with those who are providing that information, because it's better to be around the positive and taking in some information like that than to be sitting around just wasting our time, because time is our most important asset. As this brother sat in there for nearly over 20 years, he can't get that time back. But what he's not doing anymore, he's not allowing the time in front of him to go wasted either. And so I know that's why you out here working. That's why you were part of the earn that got the as your man could thinketh. I know. Are you still in any way connected with Georgetown?
So I'm an alumni of the Georgetown School of Business. And
Mm,
you know, they matter of fact, shout out to them. They just had a big event 2 days ago, bro. This is Second Chance Act month. And
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah,
those of you who are
yeah.
incarcerated, you
Second,
don't
yep,
know, this is your month. You know what I'm
yep.
saying? Where you guys, there's like I said, there's a whole movement out here, bro, that's not being
That's a
told.
fact.
And I'm not, and I'm not slighting no other major city, man. But DC, bro, when I tell you they they roll out the red carpet for us, man, when we come home.
Mm,
There's so many programs available, bro.
mm.
All it takes is for you to really have that drive.
Right.
You have to put your gears in motion, bro, and make things work for your behalf. Um,
That's a fact.
if your city doesn't have it, reach out to your city council. Say, hey, what are you guys doing for the guys that are coming home? You know, I know things are a little bit different in
Right.
the South where they really, you know, they really propagate something completely different. But listen, you don't have to stay in the South. Relocate. Don't be afraid to relocate,
Mm-hmm.
bro, because if it's
Mm-hmm.
not going down in your small
Mm-hmm.
town, get the hell out of there. If they not doing,
That's
listen,
a
at the end
fact.
of the day, these cities officials, these county officials, these state officials, and these federal officials, they work for us. We don't work for
That's a
them.
whole fact.
They work for us. So when they're
Yes,
not getting
sir.
their act right, man, say, you're not doing what we need you to do. So I got two things. Either I'm gonna hold you accountable, or I'm leaving. You're not getting my tax money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
leaving. I'm gonna go
Mm-hmm.
somewhere else where at least
Yep.
I know I got an opportunity to advance. You know what I mean? So
That's a whole
that's
fact.
what it is,
That's a
bro.
whole fact. That's a jewel right there, because a lot of people, they get stuck into their demographic, or there's certain zip codes that they're familiar with,
Right.
and instead of, you got to roll the dice, because one thing for certain, nobody's giving a shit, like, and that goes for
They're not.
anybody. We got to come out there, we got to take what we want. It's like football, you got to grab that interception and run with it.
No
And
doubt.
so with that being said, you got to position yourself for what works best for you, and not sitting around wasting no time, our most important asset. And so, my brother
Absolutely.
Asad, one thing we ask everybody who's on the show is, if you have one piece of advice that you could give to your younger self, the younger you before the incarceration, what would be that piece of advice, looking back and knowing the knowledge that you have today?
Oh man, simple. Never stop learning. Never,
Hey,
bro.
yeah,
Never stop learning, bro. You know,
yeah,
it's a quote out of Proverbs, bro. It says that a fool despises correction, but a wise man
mm,
loveth reproof. Right? And I'm a Muslim,
mm,
man. But I have to say
mm-hmm,
that you can never stop
mm-hmm.
learning, bro. Because a fool think he knows everything,
Facts.
but a wise man know he don't know enough, so he keeps on learning. You know what I mean? So
That's
we
a
can
fact.
never stop learning, bro. We
And
can never. That's a must, bro.
That's a must. Gotta that's emphasize that, bro. I was literally just talking to my mother about this earlier today, and we were saying how the one of our biggest dangers in life is what we don't know. And so, we got to go get that knowledge, because I know it sounds cliche and corny, but knowledge really is power. And the one thing
Oh
for
yeah.
certain is knowledge can never be taken from you. They could take your money, they could even take our freedoms, but they can't take our knowledge. And the knowledge
Right.
is what's going to get us our money and our freedom right back again.
No doubt,
And
bro.
so, never stop learning, be a forever learner. And so,
Absolutely,
guys,
bro.
this has been another episode of Prison Bosses. I want to sincerely thank my brother for coming on, sharing his journey with us. I suggest you run this one back again, because he dropped a lot of jewels. He provided some resources, some actual names, organizations that are out there putting in the work. And so it's vital that if you're in a situation and you're fighting for yourself, that you might reach out and utilize some of these assets for yourself. And so, my brother, I sincerely appreciate you. If you don't mind, or if you do you want to share your socials, where individuals, if it's
So,
an email address, a mailing address, anything where people could reach out to you if they have any questions, they want to get involved, etc.
right. So you can meet me. You can email me at eam324 at georgetown.edu. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my direct link. If you got core links, you got whatever, man, reach out to me, men and women, reach out to me, man. I'm on the front line for you guys. The social IG, of course, is gonna be as a man thinketh, right? I've not
Yeah.
posted anything on there yet, but I'm coming with so much content on there to really give you guys enough information, so that when you do touch down, you know exactly where to go from there. Just know
Mm-hmm.
that we're working on everything. Um, yeah, so reach out to me, bro. Um, uh, so those are the two best ways to really contact me.
Gotcha. Got
And
you.
then we'll just move from there, bro. If there's anything that I could do in the terms of linking you to the right people, man, I'm with that.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's gonna push you forward, I'm with it. I'm all the way in, 100%, bro.
Nah, I appreciate you, bro. We sincerely appreciate you. We appreciate your resilience, your consistency, your willingness not to put your head down and give up on yourself, which allowed you to free yourself, and now you're helping free others and working towards just making the system better overall. And
Right.
so I salute you, brother, for it from the bottom of my heart. I know our listeners, they're gonna appreciate it. And I just want to say thank you again, brother, for being a part of this, being here with us. And I also want to thank our listeners just for taking some time and tapping into another episode of Prison Bosses. And so until next time,
Absolutely.
safety to all of you guys out there. We look forward to speaking with you again soon.